Hi guys, good evening. Tonight we will all study the word of the Lord. Amen. Amen. So tonight we will study Daniel 6. Daniel 6. If this is your first time to tune in, I am Pastora Bambi and welcome to Praise Cathedral Global Outreach Iligan. Daniel 6. Darius the Mede decided to divide the kingdom into 120 provinces, and he appointed a high officer to rule over each province. The king also chose Daniel and two others as administrators to supervise the high officers and protect the king's interests. This is what took my attention. Daniel soon proved himself more capable than all the other administrators and high officers. Because of Daniel's great ability, the king made plans to place him over the entire empire. God bless his word. So tonight I am very blessed with what Daniel did in his lifetime during the Babylonian Empire. He proved himself more capable. More what? More capable than all the other administrators. So King Darius is the successor of King Belshazzar. And this story is about Daniel in the lion's den. But before Daniel was put into the lion's den, this is what happened. This is what happened. Verse 4, in verse 3, we can see, we notice that the king made plans to place him over the entire empire. So there was a promotion that's waiting for Daniel. And here's what happened. Verse 4. Then the other administrators and high officers began searching for some fault in the way Daniel was handling government affairs. Always remember that the king has plans to place Daniel over the entire empire. So there were other administrators and high officers looking for ways to find fault in the way Daniel was handling government affairs, but they couldn't find anything to criticize or condemn. He was faithful, always responsible, and completely trustworthy. So they concluded our only chance of finding grounds for accusing Daniel will be in connection with the rules of his religion. King Darius witnessed Daniel's ability, and he has plans to place him over the entire empire. Imagine the promotion that was waiting for Daniel. And because of this, opposition arise. Always remember that in life, as you go higher, there will always be opposition. If there is an opposition in your life today, this is to remind you that you are doing something great, something good in your life. And just like a movie, the movie is not a good movie without a villain. Without a what? A villain. And I am amazed that the opposition couldn't find anything to criticize or condemn Daniel. And because of that, they thought to themselves that it is only in connection with his rules of his religion we can find grounds to accuse him. This is to remind us that our opposition, our enemy, knows the right button to press. If today you have been entrusted with a great responsibility, with great power and authority, please be guided that there are people who will arise against you. Because, maybe for some reason, jealousy, envy, they want to be promoted as well. And be very careful because oppositions are real, enemies are real. Let's continue. So the administrators and high officers went to the king and said, "Long live King Darius. We are all in agreement, we administrators, officials, high officers, advisors, and governors, that the king should make a law that will be strictly enforced. Give orders that for the next 30 days, any person who prays to anyone, divine or human, except to you, your majesty, will be thrown into the den of lions." Verse 8, "And now, your majesty, issue and sign this law so it cannot be changed, an official law of the Medes and Persians that cannot be revoked." So King Darius signed the law. But when Daniel learned that the law had been signed, he went home and knelt down as usual in his upstairs room, which the windows are open toward Jerusalem. He prayed 3 times a day, just as he had always done, giving thanks to his God. Then the officials went together to Daniel's house and found him praying and asking God for help. So they went straight to the king and reminded him about his law. "Did you not sign a law that for the next 30 days, any person who prays to anyone, divine or human, except to you, your majesty, will be thrown into the den of lions?" King Darius said, "Yes, that decision stands. It is an official law of the Medes and Persians that cannot be revoked." Then they told the king, "That man Daniel, one of the captives from Judah, is ignoring you and your law. He still prays to his God 3 times a day." Hearing this, the king was deeply troubled, and he tried to think of a way to save Daniel. He spent the rest of the day looking for a way to get Daniel out of his predicament. I am reminded tonight that we have an enemy. And the enemy is persistent. The enemy is what? Your enemy, my opposition, your opposition. They are persistent. They will not stop until they can, and they will destroy you. But I am just amazed of Daniel's credibility, of Daniel's integrity. Because in the earlier verses, in verse 3, Daniel soon proved himself more capable. I believe so it was his work ethics. I believe so it was his excellence that Daniel found favor from King Darius. It was the hand of God moving in his life. And so Daniel was exceptional. We studied that from the earlier chapters. And tonight, please be reminded that as you go higher in life, the enemy, Satan, will use people to bring you down. The enemy, diba? What's his purpose? To steal, to kill, and to destroy. And he will not stop. And he will not stop. But I am amazed that as Daniel heard the new law, he went to his room and prayed. Battles are won best when we are on our knees. Our first helpline should be God. And our first tool and our first weapon should be our prayer. Our prayer. And I'm just amazed of the heart of King Darius. In verse 16, the king gave orders for Daniel to be arrested and thrown into the den of lions. The king said to him, "May your God, whom you serve so faithfully, rescue you." Darius' heart broke for Daniel, but he already signed. He already signed the law, and the law cannot be revoked. But, but his statement was somehow a prayer. May your God, whom you serve so faithfully, rescue you. And that is my message for each one of us. Wherever we are today, whatever battles we are facing, maybe today we are facing unfair treatment, unfair situation. Maybe today, just like Daniel, we have these people surrounding us who just want to bring us down and are jealous of the promotion, of the favor that we are getting. Brothers and sisters, for as long as we know that we are doing the right thing, for as long as we know we are pleasing the Lord with what we do in life, with what we do with our job, then it is my prayer that the God whom you serve so faithfully will rescue you. He will rescue you. And what is so amazing, the rescue of God is always on time. So to make the story short, Daniel was put into the lion's den. But in verse 17, a stone was brought and placed over the mouth of the den. The king sealed the stone with his own royal seal and the seals of his nobles so that no one could rescue Daniel. Then the king returned to his palace and spent the night fasting. Remember, the king of Babylonia fasted for Daniel, pleaded for Daniel. He refused his usual entertainment and couldn't sleep at all that night. In 21, early the next morning, King Darius went up very early and hurried out the lion's den. When he got there, he called out in anguish, "Daniel, servant of the living God, was your God, whom you serve so faithfully, able to rescue you from the lions?" Daniel answered, "Long live the king. My God sent his angels to shut the lion's mouth so that they would not hurt me. For I have been found innocent in his sight, and I have not wronged you, your majesty." Amazing story. Daniel was put in the lion's den, and for sure, his opposition were praying to their gods that the lions will eat Daniel. But the power of the Lord has shut the mouths of the lion, and Daniel was unharmed. And Daniel was unharmed because he trusted in his God. He trusted whom? He trusted in his God. And in verse 24, I am amazed of this. Then the king gave orders to arrest the men who had maliciously accused Daniel. He had them thrown into the lion's den along with their wives and children. The lions leaped on them and tore them apart before they even hit the floor of the den. Vengeance is the Lord's. If today you are going through tough things because of some opposition, my prayer is that you will endure. For as long as you know that you have not wronged anyone, for as long as you know that you have worked with integrity and credibility, stay strong. Be strong in the Lord. And what the devil meant for evil, God is able to turn it around for your good. What happened to Daniel is that it was his opposition who want him dead and be out of the empire. But God made a way for Daniel. God shut the lion's mouth. One day, brothers and sisters, the Lord will shut the mouths of your opposition. Vengeance is the Lord's. Vengeance is the Lord's. Continue to be faithful. Continue to give your best in what you do today. And one day, this unfair treatment, this unfair situation, God will turn them around for your good and for your advantage. when we go through unfair treatment or unfair situation, the right response is to be on our knees. Is to be what? To be in our knees. And God will be the one who vindicate us. Just like what He did to Daniel, He is able to do it in our lives today. He is a God who never changed. And God will protect, God will vindicate those who are faithfully serving Him, and those who put their trust in the Lord. My prayer is that you will not be shaken by your opposition. It's normal. It's good. The story is good. Because without a villain, the story is not worth reading. The story is not worth watching. But the glory is the Lord's, and the rescue and the vengeance is the Lord's. Pray, my prayer that you have been blessed with the word tonight. Please, brothers and sisters, let us be digital missionary tonight. Share and share and share and share. And let your friends also hear the word of the Lord. Merry Christmas and have a great evening.